Who does the US government actually owe $38 trillion to? That number is so large that it almost loses meaning. The trillions just blur together. For most people, it feels abstract, like something that exists on a spreadsheet in Washington, but doesn't affect daily life at all. But debt is never abstract. It always has creditors, consequences, and moral implications. So today on Biblical Bitcoin, let's answer 3 questions. Number 1, who does the US government actually owe the $38 trillion to? Number 2, why does a debt-based monetary system always require currency debasement? And number 3, why would a Bitcoin standard fundamentally change who benefits and who doesn't? When people hear national debt, they often imagine foreign governments holding America hostage. But the reality is a little more complex. The US debt is primarily owed to 3 different groups. Number 1, domestic holders. The largest share of US treasuries is actually held by Americans themselves. Pension funds, retirement accounts, insurance companies, banks, and individual savers. Social Security and Medicare trust funds are major holders. In other words, a large part of the debt is money that the government owes to its own citizens, particularly future retirees. Second, the Federal Reserve. Through decades of bond buying programs, especially since 2008, the Federal Reserve has become one of the largest holders of United States government debt. But when the Fed buys treasuries, it does so by creating new money. This is critical. The government owes money to an institution that can create money out of nothing. And the third primary group of people that the US government owes money to is foreign creditors. Foreign governments and institutions, including Japan, China, and other oil exporting nations, hold a significant portion of the US debt. These treasuries function as global reserves. Now consider this trajectory. The debt ceiling was first introduced in 1917 to restrain the amount of borrowing that the United States government can do. Instead, it has been raised over 100 times, and the pace at which this debt ceiling is being raised is going faster and faster. Trillions can be added to the debt in a matter of years, and sometimes even months, rather than generations, which is how it used to be. Breaking the ceiling is becoming less and less taboo. It's becoming more of a ritual. The question is no longer if the debt will rise above the debt ceiling, but how will it actually be paid for? To understand why repayment is impossible without currency debasement, we need to understand Triffin's dilemma. Triffin's dilemma explains the contradiction a country faces when its currency serves as the global reserve currency. On one hand, the world needs dollars for trade, savings, and reserves. On the other hand, supplying the world with dollars requires the United States to run persistent deficits. The system only works if the issuer of the reserve currency continually prints more of it. But debt-based money has consequences. Someone's savings must be diluted. When the government funds deficits by borrowing and the central bank monetizes that debt, new money enters the system before prices adjust. Asset holders benefit first, whereas wage earners and savers pay later. The purchasing power of the middle class must be eroded in this system, according to Triffin's dilemma. Printing money is the hidden mechanism that makes paying seemingly impossible debts manageable. So inflation is not a policy failure, it is the policy. So under a fiat standard, money is issued through debt. Every new dollar is someone else's liability. This system rewards those close in proximity to credit creation, such as banks, governments, financial institutions, but punishing those who are simply just trying to earn a wage and save their way into a better future. Wealth concentrates not just because markets fail, but because it is structured to flow upward. In contrast, Bitcoin operates on permissionless scarcity. In a sound money system, productivity gains result in deflation. Prices fall as technology improves. Think of the television you were able to buy for $1,000 10 years ago versus the one you could purchase today. This benefits everyone, especially lower class and middle class, because purchasing power, not the number in your account, but actual purchasing power, rises without requiring speculation or leverage. Deflation under sound money is not a curse. It's a natural reward for human progress that is distributed to everyone. In a Bitcoin standard, Savings grow in value. Wages buy more over time, and capital formation becomes accessible. Rather than lifting the wealthy first, deflation lifts everyone. So who does the US owe this $38 trillion to? Retirees, the Federal Reserve, and foreign creditors. But the truth is, this debt will never be able to be paid back honestly. It will have to be paid back dishonestly by eroding the purchasing power of the lower and middle class. Fiat systems disguise this reality through inflation, and Bitcoin exposes it. This is not just an economic issue, it's a moral one that's a little tricky to understand. Money shapes incentives, time horizons, and trust. A system built on debt trains societies to borrow from the future. A system built on sound money enables a society to flourish and simply pay through savings. That difference is why Bitcoin matters, and Christians should care. Thank you for watching Biblical Bitcoin. Be sure to like and subscribe. God bless.